Baltimore, good morning. It's Kelson from 92Q James. You know, everywhere you look now, you see everyone is hiring. Well, if you want a career that's going to make a difference, then my guest who I'll speak to today, maybe the perfect people you need to hear from. For our Lunchtime Live career preview, I'm speaking to some members from the Baltimore County Police Department. We'll talk about everything you need to know about jumping law enforcement, some great initiatives, and even how they're making history, especially in Women's History Month. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Everyone's doing good?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. First up, Captain Stephen Longo, how are you?
Good, Kelson. How are you?
I can't complain. So give us an overview of what we're doing today.
Yeah, absolutely. First off, I want to just take that time to personally thank you and 92Q for your continued partnership in assisting our agency with our recruitment efforts. The station has proven to be an important ally by helping spread the word on our recruitment messaging to the listeners. And it's whether holding events like this or supporting us by hosting live broadcasts during our community hiring events. Again, the station has just proven to be such a vital link to spreading our word about recruitment with the Baltimore County Police Department, and I'm excited to continue expanding on the relationship. But today, as March is Women's History Month, I'm excited to highlight three of our female members who will be talking about their careers with the Baltimore County Police Department. Each member has a unique story on what drew them to the profession. I believe that on the recruitment front, it is vital that a potential applicant really sees themselves in that career. So I have no doubt that the listeners today will enjoy, hearing about each of these members' journeys. And of course, myself and Sergeant Chad Henry will be available to answer any questions at the end to talk about the agency or their hiring process.
Nice. I will say this for me. If I wasn't in radio, I wanted to go in law enforcement. So every time I get to talk to you guys, I'm super excited. So I'm loving this as well.
Great. Yeah, I think it's going to be a great time today.
Sergeant Chad Henry, how are you?
I'm well. How are you, Kelson? Thanks for having us.
Of course, you're from the recruitment. You're a recruitment supervisor with the employment section. Tell me about what your job is.
Sure. So I'm in my 27th year with the agency. I'll be going on almost 5 years here in recruitment. And what we're tasked with essentially is hiring for entry-level police officer positions, where our starting salary is nearly $70,000 right now. We have a $10,000 bonus for new applicants as well. They can apply at the age of 20 and a half. And then basically they need to be a U.S. citizen, high school diploma. And then we also have experienced police officer positions that we're hiring for. They were commonly referred to in the past as laterals. And basically, we just kind of updated the name. And what that is basically there are police officers who are serving in other agencies, maybe currently, who want to come over to Baltimore County Police Department, and we are accepting them as experienced police officers. There's a $15,000 bonus for those applicants that come over to us. And we also are hiring for police cadets. At the age of 17 and a half, they can apply to come on at 18 years of age, and they would stay in the cadet rank until they would graduate into an entry-level position and go into the academy. One of the other areas that we are always hiring for professional staff, and we have a multitude of positions within the agency.
Now, one thing I always hear about is the test when you're trying to be a cadet. I know there's a written part and also a physical part, right?
We do. We have, and it's for our entry-level positions, we have a written test that they take right after applying, and then we do have a physical agility test after that, yes.
See, that's the part that makes me a little nervous. What's included in part of the physical part?
So we have, there's push-ups, there's sit-ups, there's a 1.5 mile run, and it's a timed run. And there's also a trigger pull. It's on a modified handgun just to look for finger dexterity.
Okay, so it's not too bad, but definitely gotta prepare for that agility part, huh?
Yeah, it's like anything else. It's certainly something that you want to prepare for coming into it.
And if folks are interested, where can they go apply or learn more about this information?
Sure. So throughout today, I think on the bottom of the screen, it has our website, which is www.joinbaltimorecountypd.com. And you get onto the website, up in the top right hand corner, there's a tab that says Join Us. If they click on that, it will direct them right to the application page.
Now, Sergeant Henry or even Major Camille, I'm not sure which one of you guys can answer this question, but a lot of folks only think that you can only be an officer, but there's different positions in different areas in the Baltimore County Police Department that are available, like the different, I think it's air and water and stuff like that. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, sure. So, people coming in bring a vast array of experience. And that's one of the things that we notice even with our experienced officer program. You might have people who have military experience who can fly helicopters. We have people who have maybe their captain license for boating, and maybe they have interest in that. So there's really a nexus to everything in police work. I say that all the time when we're recruiting, is that people come in, whether you had a finance degree in college, you might wonder how that applies. Well, we have an economics crimes unit within the agency. They might have had prior education, and maybe they could be a school police resource officer. So there are a lot of things you can do with a career in law enforcement.
Nice. Major Camille, she is the commander of the Eastern Patrol Division. How you feeling this morning?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm good. So tell me about your journey to becoming a major.
Well, I can say that I started with the Baltimore County Police Department in 1994 when I came on as a cadet, and I have almost 31 years on now.
Nice.
And what really drew me to Baltimore County was the reputation of the police department. And it's such a large agency. We have over 1,900 sworn members. And what that really meant to me, even as a 19-year-old kid, that there would be a lot of opportunities for advancement as well as working in specialized units. And like Sergeant Henry said, if you desire to work in the K-9 unit or the Marine unit, or if you want to be a school resource officer and help enrich the lives of our youth, there are opportunities to do that. There are so many specialized units within our department. And when I looked at the police department and Baltimore County, I really wanted to be a part of something bigger than myself. And I
Mhm.
wanted a career that would be challenging yet rewarding. And that is definitely what I have found with Baltimore County. I grew up in Baltimore County, I live in Baltimore County, and it was really important to me to be able to serve the communities in which I live. And so far, I have been able to do that. And I'm very blessed to be where I am today. So I would highly encourage others to join our department, and I don't think they would regret it in the least bit.
Major Camille, what are some of your duties as a major?
So I oversee the Eastern Patrol Division, which means that I oversee the Towson, Parkville, White Marsh, Essex, and Dundalk precincts. And I oversee their daily operations. I coordinate large scale events, respond to critical incidents, handle personnel issues, and really just oversee the five precincts.
So it sounds like you don't get much sleep with all your duties and everything.
Some days are better than others.
Yeah, I can imagine because the world we live in is definitely very interesting. Share with me a little about the 30 by 30 initiative.
The 30 by 30 initiative, it's actually a national movement to increase women's representation in law enforcement. And the goal of that movement is to have 30% representation of women in police recruit classes by the year 2030. And what I am really proud to say is that the national average for law enforcement agencies for females is 13%. And it's pretty exciting to say that Baltimore County has over 18% of sworn female police officers. So we are, I think, well on our way to achieving that goal. And not only does the 30 by 30 hope to increase the number of women in law enforcement, but I think it also promotes diversity and ensures that all voices are heard.
Mhm.
And what we've really focused on during Women's History Month is diversity and inclusion. And it's not just about having a seat at the table. It's really important that women not only have a seat at the table, but that their voices are heard and they feel included and welcome. And that's really what we want to achieve by this 30 by 30 initiative. And it's like I said, it's a national initiative. So we're able to collaborate with other agencies throughout the country and share our successes and what we've done to really to boost our recruiting efforts. Because if you look at the statistics, Baltimore County is 50% female, and
Mhm.
it's important that we are a representation of the communities that we serve.
So, for females watching right now, young female trying to figure out, I want to get in law enforcement. What advice would you tell them?
If you believe it, you can achieve it. I started this job and this career when I was 19 years old, and I can honestly say that even after 31 years, I still enjoy coming to work every day. I
Mhm.
love what I do, and I find it very rewarding. So I think this is the greatest job in the world.
Nice. Thank you, Major Camelli. And as we're celebrating National Women's History Month, as you are in the department as well, we have our future first African American captain in the agency's 150 plus history with Lieutenant Seaman. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm a great Lieutenant Seaman. You are the assistant commander of the Towson Precinct. How does it feel to be making history?
It's definitely something that I don't take lightly, and I'm very appreciative to be able to be on the eligibility list to accomplish that goal. It's definitely exciting and something I can't wait to do.
So share with me some of your history in becoming to where you are now in the police department with Baltimore County.
Similarly to Major Camelli, I grew up in Baltimore County. I graduated high school in Baltimore County. Um, I worked for the Baltimore County Public Library. So Baltimore County has just been a part of my life in its entirety. When I was in high school, I was even in JROTC. So I've always had that leadership, that military background on my father's side. From a policing perspective, there's more of my relatives that are serving in law enforcement now than they were before. But prior to that, my uncle retired as a colonel within the agency. So it's definitely been a leadership-led journey where I've been able to take from a variety of people to develop who I am today.
What attracted you to do Baltimore County or even be in law enforcement? Was it that your family members were already there, or the military background for your dad and stuff?
I think the foundation had already been laid.
Mhm.
However, honestly speaking, I needed to make more money from what I was making before.
Yeah.
I've always been a person of service. So again, hence, being in JROTC, working at the library. And so it only made sense at that point. So where I would argue my uncle and I worked at the Woodlawn Library. So we always had officers working there. So the exposure was always there.
Mhm.
Initially, it wasn't something I thought of, but once it was, and I also actually worked at the PAL Center as a civilian. So again, I've towards my adult life been around officers for a long time, so it just only made sense.
Yeah. What advice would you give to a young woman that's interested in going to law enforcement?
Go for it. Don't make it just an interest, make it a goal. Build in your goals to not only be an officer, but be authentically you.
Mhm.
And you have something to bring to the table, just as we all do. So bring that authenticity to the table and help us be better and reach that 30 by 30.
That's right. So it's funny. I got a confession. When I growing up, I think I'm probably in middle school, maybe like my first year of high school. I live in Owens Mills, so I was an explorer for Baltimore County with the right here, Town Road. So I'm telling you, it's all full circle for me, like talking to you guys and hearing about your experience and everything. So definitely, again, thank you for sharing your experience, Lieutenant C. What's your day look like when you're on? What is your daily routine?
Well, it definitely starts with making some coffee for sure. Um, And it's I try to have a daily routine. It makes it easier, but usually it entails me checking my emails, signing some paperwork, and then just making my rounds, speaking to the officer, speaking to the personnel within the station. And then it just kind of goes back to whatever the emails dictate, the phone calls, any residual work that may not have been done the day prior. But ultimately, my goal is just to do kind of what my title says, an assistant precinct commander, and whatever needs he may have.
Hmm. So, do you still go out on calls and stuff like that, or you're more so in the station?
I'd say the majority of my job is in the station, but I try to get out and learn more of the area of Towson. I've never worked in the Towson precinct before, so I get out to see more, and then I always enjoy when I hear a traffic stop. I try to get out and back the officers up as best I can.
Hmm. Again, once again, congratulations on becoming the future first African American captain in the agency's 150-year history. So, Lieutenant Seaman, thank you once again.
Thank you.
Officer Spears, she's at the Eastern Community Action Team. She's also the Vice President of the Women's Association of Baltimore County Police. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
How are you feeling?
I'm great. I'm
I
great.
see you got your uniform on. Are you in the
I
office
do.
often, or are you in the street?
I'm in the street. So
Okay.
I'm part of the the Eastern Community Action Team. So we are under Major Camelli. So Towson, Parkville, White Marsh, Essex, and Dundalk are the areas that we, we support.
Mm-hmm. So tell me why you got into it, the Baltimore County Police Department, or just law enforcement.
So I grew up in Carroll County. I've always had the passion and the dream to become a police officer. I went to college and graduated from McDaniel College in Westminster, not with a law enforcement degree by any means. And I knew a few officers from Baltimore County. They had nothing but great things to say about the department. And as Major Camelli said, we do have such a great reputation here, and the size of the department is large. There's plenty of room to promote and get in those specialized units, even one similar to the one that I'm in now. And the diversity within the department, but also within the communities that you work, it's just been great.
Mm-hmm. Being the Vice President of the Women's Association of Baltimore County Police, what's kind of your roles and your duties doing that?
Yeah, I'm honored to be the vice president of that association. Basically, we just provide support, ensure fairness and training.
Mm-hmm.
We work cooperatively with the FOP, the Blue Guardians, and Fair Practices. We host promotional workshops that assist females and males alike to get into those roles. And we just provide guidance and support to the women in the department.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm an avid watcher, and no disrespect, an avid watcher of Chicago PD. So I feel as though, because I'm watching the show, I can kind of possibly do what you guys do, but clearly I can't. Seeing shows like the Chicago PD and the other police shows, how do you guys feel about seeing, is there story or how they handle work? Is it close to what you guys do in reality?
Sometimes, but things move a little differently. We certainly don't get back the DNA so quick. Things aren't evolved quite as quickly, but we do the best we can.
Yeah. And what attracted you to law enforcement? I'm not sure if I asked you that earlier. No, what advice would you tell a young woman who was interested, who was celebrating Women's History Month, that you would tell a young female that was interested in law enforcement with the Baltimore County Police Department?
To just make the leap. It is worth it. You find your purpose, and every day I wake up, the day's different, and I have that opportunity to make a positive difference in the community in which I live. And there's no better feeling than that. So if you have a desire to do it, absolutely. Just take that leap.
Yeah. Sergeant Henry, we were talking about the academy earlier, or Captain Long, maybe you guys can help. How long is the academy, and what are some of the process things you go through during the academy?
Currently, our academy is 32 weeks, and it is more academic than I think what people realize. You just think that, okay, we're going to be doing some combatives, pistol range, driving, which we are as well. But with our partnership that we have with Community College of Baltimore County, our entry-level officers that while they're in those 32 weeks, they're receiving 55 college credits, 46 of which will go toward their AA degree. So what we always tell people that we meet at career fairs, we're pretty much giving you 2 years of college in those 8 months. Mm-hmm. So people coming in, have to recognize that it's going to be academic based. But of course, you're also going to be doing the cool things with, driving the cars real fast and shooting all the various weapons. So it's a good, sort of combination of everything.
Nice. And as we're celebrating Women's History Month, we're trying to encourage more women to join the Baltimore County Police Department, because as you see, we have great women on here that's doing big things. We got a question from Ted Wilson, says, what's the maximum age that you can apply to become an officer?
Actually, we do not even have a maximum age. We've had people enter the academy. Now they can go in at 20 and a quarter, 20 and 4 months.
Mhm.
And then we've had academy members that started at their mid 50s. So if you have a desire and you have a passion for a service, that's our sort of catchphrase that we like to say. We're really looking for somebody that just wants to get back to their community. Again, like everybody else, I was born and raised in Baltimore County. So coming back to serve the citizens of Baltimore County meant a lot. So that's exactly what we're looking for with a potential applicant.
And Kevin Long, well, how long have you been with Baltimore County?
I've been with Baltimore County. I'm completing my 26th year. Prior to that, I served with the Baltimore Police Department for 11 years. So I have 37 combined years on. Joined right out of high school. I joined as a police cadet starting right out. So I come from a family of service between military, medical field, or teachers, educators. I was just brought up from an early age to, service mindset, giving back to the community.
Okay. Officer Spear, Lieutenant Seaman, I know you sometimes you're in the office. Are there times where you wish, you know what, I want to go back out in the street just for a little bit because like you missed, I guess, the action a little bit, or even you, Major Kameli?
When I see Officer Spear, I do think that she's a go-getter, and so there are moments. I always say patrol is where the excitement is. That's where my fun was. And again, watching someone like Officer Spear, and I didn't get to work too long with her. She came from the Towson precinct, but she was quickly swept into the Eastern Community Action Team once I got here. But I definitely miss it, and that's why, as I said before, when my paperwork doesn't keep me kind of hostage at the office, I definitely enjoy getting out and interacting with the officers and the community.
And Major Kameli, do you get a chance to go out, in the street often?
Certainly not as much as I would like to, but
Hmm.
a lot of my job is administrative, but that's why I have to live vicariously through females like Officer Spear right now, and she gets to
Hmm.
wear the cool uniform and the cool vest, and I just sit behind the desk and send emails. But I'm very proud of the younger women that we have in our department, and I got to do those things as a young officer, as a young supervisor, and it's great to see other women fulfilling that role now.
Yes. Got a question coming in saying, with the executive orders from the White House diminishing DEI programs, are you getting pushback for these initiatives? Good question.
Actually, we are not. Our mission in the recruitment end is, and as far as the agency as a whole, we need to be reflective of the agency or the community that we serve. So, we make it a goal to try to make sure that each academy class is reflective of that community. So, is for Baltimore County, no, we are supported by our Chief McCullough, and the executive leadership team. The county administration, so we have not had any pushbacks, and we continue to obviously try to be as reflective to the community as we can be as an agency.
That's a very good question. Thank you, Wanda, for sending that question in. Sergeant Chad Henry, once again, what are some of the qualifications if people wanted to apply for a position with the Baltimore County Police Department?
Sure. So the minimum qualifications, again, are that you're a U.S. citizen, that you have a high school diploma. We certainly encourage, as the captain said, with our program now, as applicants go into the academy, because we have that partnership with the CCBC system. It's a great program for those that might not have any college or maybe have some classes to come out with an AA degree. But the minimum qualification is for a high school diploma.
Mhm. And once again, can you break down the different departments in the Baltimore Police Department that people can, go into? Because not just being a patrol is, other things, other options.
Sure. So, because we're the 21st largest police department in the country, we have a lot of opportunity. And so, again, patrol is, and we spoke about this earlier. The patrol is really the backbone of the department, but we do have detective units. And pretty much encompassing anything that you can think of. We have a lot of specialized units between our aviation, our canine, our tactical. We have arson. We have just a multitude. So it really, if you have a desire to be a detective, You can investigate, robberies, burglaries. We have a special victims unit. A lot of people come to us. We have a very large internship program, which has been great for us as well as a feeder to get interested applicants to become police officers. But a lot of times when we get young adults that come in, they have a strong interest in forensics. We see that a lot. A lot of people want to be in homicide. And, of course, all of, the aviation, canine, they have a strong following as well.
So then we talk a little bit about the internship program, because the first I'm hearing about that. I might try to have to sign up again.
Hey, there you go. So we have so our internship program historically has been geared toward juniors and seniors in college. However, we do have a contingency of high school students as well. And so the great part about that, and it's been a very big success, is that we will take an intern who comes in who may not really know what they want to do. They think they have some desire to do law enforcement on some level, they just don't know what that is. And so they come in and we give them a well-rounded experience. They get to do a number of different things between ride-alongs. They get to shadow different specialized units. And just get to see the day-to-day operations of wherever they're assigned. And the biggest testament to it is that we just had a current intern who was with us in the fall, and she came in, wasn't really sure what she wanted to do, and I'm happy to say that she's applied and she's in our process now, and we're hoping that come our July class that she will be in that class. So that really goes to show how important it is to have interns come in and be able to get a very well-rounded experience and see if this is truly something that they have a passion to do.
And if you hear that, Sergeant, he said see, women are continuing to take over with the Baltimore County Police Department, so we definitely applaud that right there. Tia had another question, say, are there any programs for any soon-to-be high school graduates?
So again, we do partnership with a couple high schools, and then we have a program also running where we have 12 high school students who are part of the internship program. A majority of our interns are college age students, but we do have that, yes.
Okay. And before we wrap things up, Officer Spears, since you're the one in the streets a lot, I'm sure I asked you earlier, what does your schedule like, or your day-to-day looks like?
So I go on a 2-week rotating schedule. So for 2 weeks, I'll work 6 in the morning to 2 p.m. And then for 2 weeks, I'll work 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. And being part of the Eastern Community Action Team, we pretty much go to the higher crime areas, and where there's recurring crime or just to provide that presence for crime deterrence. So I never really know what area on the eastern part of the county I'll be that day, but I think that helps make it fun.
Can we factually say that having a police presence helps to deter crime from happening? I know, because the world is crazy now, so
Absolutely. We've been very successful deterring that crime just by presence, initiating traffic stops. We've had some firearm seizures, some narcotic seizures, and apprehended quite a few, suspects in those areas.
Nice. So as you know, Baltimore County Police Department is hiring. Sergeant Chad Henry, run down the information one more time before we get out of here this morning.
Sure. So, and one other thing I wanted to bring out, Kelson, was that we hire for cadets as well. So if they're high school age, people interested, again, we accept applications at 17 and a half. They will start their credible service time at 18 years old. That means they're eligible to retire at 43 after 25 years of service. So it's really a great program. It also gives them a couple years of experience going into the police academy. So they're, I think, that much more prepared than an applicant who might be coming from a different career path or maybe coming out of college. So again, that's another really great program that the agency offers.
Do we find out that people that come in early, like you said 17 and a half, and work till 43, or do they really retire or they stay on longer or do like other stuff? Or
So I think the trend nowadays is that most people stay on longer. I think when I started my career, it was more typical that people would do 20 years and then maybe look to retire. But now at 25 years, I think most are staying well beyond that. So, and we have plenty of incentive where they can stay on and actually stay up to and earn up to 100% pension credit. So there's really a lot of incentive to do that. And when you're young, um, those extra years add up, and again, you can stay long enough to have 100% of your pension with us.
Nice. So listen, if you're looking for a job, want to make a change in the community, Baltimore County Police Department is hiring. Make sure you apply now at joinbaltimorecountypd.com. Major Camelli, Officer Spear, Sergeant Henry, Lieutenant Seaman, Captain Longo, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kelson.